Pistachios, one of the most beloved and nutritious nuts in the world, have been cultivated for centuries. They originate from Iran, which used to be the largest exporter. Today, the United States has become the largest producer of this delicious nut, accounting for about 40% of the global supply. In 2022, the value of the U.S. pistachio crop reached an impressive $1.9 billion. In 2022, California pistachio growers achieved a historic record, harvesting over 1.03 billion pounds of pistachios, valued at over $1.8 billion at the farm level. But how are pistachios grown and harvested? What does it take for these nut trees to thrive and yield such bountiful harvests? Pistachios require specific soil conditions to grow. A mix of clay, sand, loam, and organic materials creates the ideal environment for the trees. Next comes the planting of pistachio trees. In commercial production, the trees are started from grafted plants. The scions are carefully selected and grafted onto rootstocks, chosen for their hardiness and resistance to pests. Once planted, the trees require constant care to ensure healthy growth and optimal yields. An interesting characteristic of pistachio trees is their alternate bearing nature, meaning they alternate between high yield and low yield years. This poses a major challenge for growers in managing their orchards to maximize output. Pistachio trees take about 5 to 6 years to start bearing fruit, and growers must provide the necessary nutrition and care to help them reach their full potential. Water is vital to the growth of pistachio trees, especially during the hot summer months from late July through August. Young trees need about 50 gallons of water per day. Drip irrigation systems are the primary method used, with most new orchards utilizing micro-irrigation systems to precisely control water usage. Pistachio growers in the U.S. rely on meticulous processes to determine the optimal fertilization plan for their orchards. Throughout the year, they analyze soil and leaves to assess the specific nutritional needs of the trees. nuts are carefully managed, and trees are pruned and sprayed to control pests and diseases that could harm the crop and reduce yields. The growing season for pistachios is critical, starting in late March when flower buds formed the previous summer begin to bloom. By April, the flowers are in full bloom, and unlike other fruit and nut trees that rely on bees for pollination, pistachios are wind-pollinated. In May, the inner shells start to form, and by June, when the shells have reached their full size, they harden and the nut fully develops. By July, as the nuts swell, the shells naturally split open, signaling that the pistachios are ready for harvest. Pistachio harvest typically begins in late August or early September, when the shells begin to split and the outer hulls easily separate. Mechanical shakers are used to harvest the nuts by vigorously shaking the trees, causing pistachios to fall into special V-shaped catch frames below. After being collected, the nuts are transferred onto conveyors and into plastic bins or trailers for transport to processing facilities. With precise harvesting techniques, farmers ensure that pistachios are carefully collected, preserving their quality and flavor. Pistachios are a delicate crop, and if left on the trees too long, or if the outer hulls stay in contact with the shells after harvest, they can become stained. To prevent this, the industry focuses on continuous harvesting 24/7 over the 6 to 8 week harvest period. This intense phase ensures a quick, careful harvest, minimizing the risk of shell staining and maintaining the high quality and value of pistachios. After drying, pistachios may go through a mechanical process to separate the nuts based on whether their shells have split. This process involves sending the nuts through a drum with fine pins. As the drum rotates, it catches the naturally split nuts while allowing unsplit ones to pass through. Naturally split shells are highly valued and sorted by size and color. Meanwhile, the unsplit nuts are mechanically cracked to extract the kernels. Once sorted and shelled, pistachios are stored in bins and kept at temperatures between 40 and 45 degrees Fahrenheit until they're ready for packaging and sale.